Kool Keith, have those people acknowledge you at all? Because I understand you ran into it one time, Jay-Z, and he just walked right by you.
I think a lot of the new groups are insecure. I think they forgot about the people who are the legends. When you see Michael Jackson, it's nothing you could do but bow down. When you see Marvin Gaye, it's nothing you could do but bow down. When you see James Brown, it's nothing you could do but give it up.
And when I say Kool Keith,
it's nothing you could do but bow down.
Ever heard of a rapper who transformed into a homicidal alien surgeon, a time-traveling gynecologist, a gritty government operative, and even a futuristic Black Elvis? That would be Kool Keith. His career has been a long journey through weird alter egos and different styles of hip-hop, from the ultramagnetic MCs to the creation of surreal characters like Dr. Octagon and Mr. Nogatco. Kool Keith has always been doing his thing, pushing the bar of creativity in hip-hop. Today we are going to take a deeper look into the life of Kool Keith and the chaos that goes into his mind.
Well, a lot of people never thought I would be a rapper. When all my friends found out I was rapping, they were surprised. They was like, wow. Because I kept it to myself. I was rapping, I was writing a lot, but I never exposed myself. Some people was rapping in front of people a lot. I stayed to myself, kept it to myself.
The rise of Kool Keith. While hip-hop icons like Future and Kanye West have pushed the boundaries of mainstream music with their weirdness, such as mini dresses, high fashion, and codeine cocktails, no one comes close to the unmatched weirdness of Kool Keith. With a shocking 58 alter egos, Keith has spent the past 30 years at the forefront of hip-hop's innovation, often undermining his success. But where did it all start? Keith first grabbed the spotlight as a member of Ultramagnetic MCs, a New York-based rap group that never quite hit commercial gold, despite critical acclaim and a devoted fan base. Their 1988 debut album, Critical Beatdown, was a game changer. Said G's production was revolutionary. While his rapping might not have been legendary, his influence on 80s hip-hop was undeniable.
Let's take it back to the Bronx in the 80s. Critical Beatdown is 1988.
We was in Washington Avenue, the projects. Me growing up in the Bronx and living in public housing, everybody had the same story. I was coming up, life was hard in the projects. We could have wrote records like, my mom ain't got no food, roaches all in my shoebox, and my cat ain't got no meow mix. But I thought it would have been,
Lyrically, Kool Keith was in a league of his own as the group's standout frontman and ghostwriter for many. Said G's verses, Keith's sci-fi inspired lyrics, were way ahead of their time. He drew inspiration from comics and other unconventional sources, using words and themes that no one had ever thought to rhyme about. This made Critical Beatdown a masterpiece, a once-in-a-lifetime track. This would be the foundation for Keith's lyrical exploration for many years to come.
One of the things I like about all three of you guys is when you do things, it's not easily explainable initially. It's well thought out, layers to these concepts. For example, Dr. Octagon, when it first came out, man, there was a whole story behind his character. I don't know if people still reference. Has any of the story changed? Is he still an alien surgeon?
Slash
porno
gynecologist.
Uh-huh.
From the year
3000.
Dr. Octagon. In 1996, Kool Keith released his critically acclaimed solo debut album, Dr. Octagonacologist, under the alias Dr. Octagon, who was a homicidal extraterrestrial, time-traveling gynecologist and surgeon. Yeah, you heard that right. This surreal persona and the album's eccentric narrative secured Keith's place in hip-hop. With around 200,000 copies sold and being picked up by labels like Moax and DreamWorks, Dr. Octagonacologist was unlike anything the hip-hop world had ever seen. If you watched any skateboarding videos in the 90s, you probably would remember seeing him featured.
San Francisco, it was space-age Halloween kind of, like, that area makes you write the most weirdest stuff.
It opened up other doors. It just went into other sections of music. It went into rock, alternative, rap. That album was like 4 different dimensions. So the lyrical side, the music, the eclectic, then being so different. It's pop, it's rock. It was even heavy metal to some sort. It was an Octagon record, like 8 sides.
Sex style. With the success and reception of Dr. Octagon, everybody waited for what Keith would do next. So it's really no surprise that he met those expectations. With the 1997 release, Sex Style, he could have easily coasted on the jazzy, off-kilter vibe established with Dr. Octagon Ecologist, but instead of following the same trajectory, he took a 180-degree turn.
Visual, some people did visual sex. You know, they put ladies in their videos, and they said that was mixed with hip-hop, which it was, but really what mixed with hip-hop is that I put movies and stuff in my music and mix the music with the records, and you know, you hear girls and samples from in the records and stuff. That's what I was about. You know, even after that, then the girls are in the video with the music. So I might have a sample, you know, something from a movie, a girl moaning on my chorus, and it sounds crazy, you know.
Sex Style is very provocative. Keith actually branded the style of rap on the record Core. The record was brilliant in its own sleazy, minimalistic manner, but there was a dramatic difference from Dr. Octagon, and even more so would be the next character that Keith introduced to the world. Dr. Dooom.
Yo, what's up? This is Dr. Dooom. I know I killed Dr. Octagon. Now how they gonna come back with some type of return? That's why I'm back. I'm gonna put the finishing touches on this guy. You witnessed the execution.
Kool Keith has always been one of the great career reinventors in hip-hop, and he outdid himself in 1999 with the release of First Come, First Served, an album that he put out under the alias Dr. Dooom. The album kicks off with a gut-wrenching murder in which Dr. Dooom kills off his old alias of Dr. Octagon and sets the stage for a much darker story to unfold.
So I read that you created a subgenre of hip-hop called horrorcore. What is horrorcore?
Well, horrorcore is me. I was always into haunted records. I never was on the light side of records. I think a lot of people always recorded on, you know, happy beats. I always liked the dark beats. I was a big fan of horror movies, so I always loved a lot of late night creep music and stuff like that. Tales of the Crypt, you know, those type of soundtracks, Halloween, Jason, whatever, anything creepy. I was always rapping on that. I just like dark stuff because the themes that I had wrote about fit those.
The character of Dr. Dooom allowed Keith to express his frustrations about the praise and attention that Dr. Octagon had received. Octagon was surreal, spacebound, and often amusing. Dr. Dooom is gritty, edgy, and earthbound. He turned the concept into grimy visuals of squalid apartment life, infested with roaches and mice amid the smells of decomposing body parts wafting in the breeze. It is a huge visceral difference, one that isolated some fans, but also showed his versatility. Black Elvis. 4 months later, on August 10th, 1999, Keith released the album Black Elvis, Lost in Space through the major labels Rough House and Columbia. The album showed off Keith's complex wordplay, focusing on two personas. Half the album presents the perspective of Black Elvis and, consequently, his very peculiar view of everything, while the other half of the album tracks focus on the theme of space travel and being lost inside the cosmos. It was on this album that Keith took full control of the production.
I always wanted to ask you the Black Elvis character. You know, what brought that about? And when we look at the history of rock and roll, shouldn't it be the white Kool Keith versus the Black Elvis?
Well, Black Elvis was my black symbol, the black rock star. That was my whole symbol. That was the black rock star that was popular. Well, I was kind of like the black rock star of rap, you know, mostly than any other group or solo artists out there to collaborate with rock stars, you know, and electronic bands, all types of big rock bands. I probably was the first in the music industry. You know, besides Run DMC and Aerosmith, I think on a long-term basis, I was the most person doing the most collaborations of rock and rap mix, pulling in a different audience.
Black Elvis, Lost in Space succeeded, reaching number 10 on the Billboard Heat Seekers chart, number 74 on the top R&B and hip-hop albums chart, and number 180 on the Billboard 200. Despite the success of the album, Keith was frustrated with its delay and lack of promotional efforts. The lead single, Livin' Astro, was featured on MTV's AMP and aired in early 2000, but again, Keith thought that the album deserved much better promotion. In perhaps one of the more underrated celebration of its long-term greatness, a sequel album, Black Elvis 2, was released in 2023, giving fresh takes to the saga of one of the most stunning and puzzling personas in hip-hop history.
I think the Black Elvis 2 is, it's so dynamic. We had put it together. It came out just perfect. A lot of nice people came to the table on it, and we put it together with just what we had, and it was just great the way it panned out. We worked on it for about a month, and then you have Black.
Matthew. On July 25, 2000, Kool Keith released Matthew, an album titled after his middle name. On tracks like I Don't Believe You, Keith delivered a scathing critique of rap culture, calling out what he sees as the absurdities in the industry, with references to everything from Aaron Hall to Lauryn Hill. His choice of pastel blue attire on the cover even predates Cameron's iconic Pink era. This album showcases Keith's relentless push to keep his audience guessing, constantly reinventing himself and pushing the boundaries of his art. However, it was met with some opposing reviews. One critic wrote, "While his lyrical sharpness remains, the album's production, handled by Keith himself, often misses the mark, with some beats coming off as chaotic or monotonous."
It's like we're stuck right now musically, especially black music. We're stuck. For about 10 years right now, we've been on the champagne thing, the extra living, money, cars, jewelry, which are things I already had and did. I've traveled around the world. I'm fortunate to see the world, but I think people are stuck right now, especially black music. R&B is stuck. Even rock is stuck. Rock is crossing over to rap. You got groups wearing the hat backwards, and Britney Spears.
Despite its inconsistencies, Matthew keeps listeners engaged with its mix of old school bravado and offbeat creativity, though it falls short of Keith's best work. Spankmaster. Following Matthew on June 5, 2001, Kool Keith released the album Spankmaster. Now don't let the cover fool you. This isn't a continuation of Sex Styles, nor does it rise to that album's level of genius. No, Spankmaster is a creation spawned from the ideas first worked out in Matthew. Where this album excels, though, is on Keith's part. He never sounds more alive and energetic. He plays around with his voice, changing its pitch and flow in new ways, and even throws in some goofy voices and ad-libs here and there.
What you got now is a lot of buck dances. I hate to say a lot of my fellow rappers that still rapping right now are dancers. They're what you call house, they're in the record company, but they're field niggas in general. They smile and porch monkeys, and they like that. The white man loves the Newport.
A vague concept running through this suggests a possible satire on mainstream hip-hop. Despite the mixed reception, Spankmaster did well on the charts, hitting number 16 on the Billboard Heatseekers chart, number 11 on the Top Independent Albums chart, and number 48 on the Top R&B and Hip-Hop Albums chart. Mr. Nogatco.
Kids, gather around the fireplace. All the kids. Gather around the fireplace. That's right. Tommy, you too. Mr. Nogatco.
Let's move to April 25th, 2006, when Keith released Nogatco Road, his debut of the Mr. Nogatco persona. This album featured Soul and Sage Francis guest appearances and included an enhanced portion with a 12-minute Nogatco Road mini-movie and a digital comic book. The name Nogatco Road is Dr. Octagon spelled backward, hinting at the twisted genius of Keith's mind. Nogatco is a special government operative tasked with infiltrating alien crash sites to retrieve specimens for study. But true to form, Keith doesn't play by the rules. Mr. Nogatco's real agenda is far more sinister, using his position to conduct his own research and eventually unleash an army of aliens on Earth. It's a wild ride through the mind of Kool Keith, blending sci-fi elements with his signature eccentricity, showing once again that there is no limit to his creative universe.
I mean, if you look at all the magazine pictures and all the video concepts, I mean, I feel I get my most creative effect on being different. And I mean, rap has just always remained the same. It needs help now in variation right now from somebody to be.
Beyond the personas we've explored, Kool Keith's mind houses a multitude of other fascinating characters that each brought their own unique flavor to the hip-hop scene. At 60 years old, Keith has created the futuristic robot rapper Tashawn Dorsett, the enigmatic Reverend Tom, the peculiar Papa Lodge, and the outlandish Willie Biggs, to name just a few. Each alter ego represents a different facet of Keith's creativity, from the hardcore to the hilariously absurd. Whether he's channeling the slick, smooth-talking Robbie Analog or the sci-fi-inspired Fly Ricky, the wine taster, Keith's ability to embody so many distinct personalities keeps his fans constantly guessing and eagerly awaiting his next transformation. Though not as widely known, these characters contribute to the rich tapestry of his career, showcasing the limitless bounds of his artistic imagination.
To a different level, what are you most proud of in your career?
You know, some rappers and the producers made very little music, but they wanted to get great achievements for very little music. I made a lot of music. You know, I was making music because I loved it and I liked making music. A lot of people who made music corporately made music because of record labels, or they had to make the record for a deadline. I made records because I liked it.
It's amazing to see an artist who truly loves every unique avenue of music continue to push the bar in hip-hop. He is someone who isn't afraid to fail and continues to break the rules and boundaries with every new album released. Obviously, with 58 different alter egos, there's just too many to cover in this video. But what character is your favorite? Let us know in the comments, and check out these other videos while you're here. We appreciate you guys staying to the end. Help us out by liking, sharing, and subscribe to our channel if you want more of this content in your feed. Thanks for watching, and as always, we will see you in the next one.